Have you ever looked at a piece of art and just felt it? Have you ever wondered how an artist can take a deep, complex, spiritual idea, something full of scripture and prayer, and somehow boil it all down into one single, powerful image? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. We're pulling back the curtain on that creative process. I mean, that's really the big question, isn't it? Words are amazing. They can carry so much history and nuance and meaning. But a picture? A picture has to hit you in an instant. So how in the world do you translate all the richness of a devotional text into a visual that you can feel in your gut without a single word to guide you? So, to see how this all works, we're going to follow a real-world example. This is from the Living Hope devotional series. And the job was to create one single image for day 20, which is called Salt and Morning Light. The challenge? Capture the entire spirit of that day's reflection in one frame. Okay, so before you even think about picking up a brush or a stylus, the first step, and honestly the most important one, is to really take apart the text. You have to dig in and find the heartbeat of the devotion, that one central idea that everything else is built around. And boom, here it is. This one sentence is the anchor for the whole thing. The big idea here isn't about trying harder or putting on some big, impressive show of holiness. No, it's about understanding that being salt and light is a gift. It's just what you are because you belong to God. It's an identity you receive, not a trophy you earn. And that leads us to the core theme. Belonging, not performance. Your identity in God comes first. Then, your witness to the world naturally flows from that. It's not about self-advertising. A light doesn't try to shine. It just shines. It can't help it. And that's the point. It's grace making you into something new from the inside out. So what does this actually look like in real life? Well, the call to action here is not to go out and do something loud and flashy. It's actually the complete opposite. It's a call to do these quiet, good works, where the whole point is that the spotlight falls on God, not on you. And this idea of humble, non-performative action, that is absolutely crucial for the image we need to create. Okay, so we've got the core message loud and clear. Now comes the fun part. How do you take that abstract idea, this quiet, inherent holiness, and turn it into a concrete visual? What does it look like? So you start brainstorming, right? First idea, a handful of salt. Okay, it's a direct symbol from the Bible, makes sense, but visually, it's a little boring, a bit static, and it totally misses the whole light of the world half of the theme. But then, what about a simple clay lamp? Now this has potential. It beautifully combines the idea of light with this deep sense of humility. It's not a giant spotlight, it's a small, everyday object. And with the lamp, you get this amazing interplay of light and shadow, and it just perfectly captures that feeling of hope in the early morning light. And just like that, you have it, the quiet lamp. It's the perfect concept. It's this beautiful visual metaphor for a holiness that shines, not to get applause or to be seen, but simply because shining is what it does. It just is. So we've got our concept, but we're not done yet. How you paint something is just as important as what you're painting. The style itself has to serve the message, and for this series, there's a very specific visual language we need to speak. You see, every single artistic choice here is deliberate and just packed with meaning. That warm golden light, that's not just any light. It symbolizes grace, resurrection, God's presence breaking into the scene. And those deep, rich blue shadows, that's the world waiting in darkness, a world that needs that hope. Even the texture, those visible, imperfect brushstrokes, that's on purpose. It feels human, it feels irreverent, not cold and perfect like a machine made it. And by having just one single focal point, the whole composition becomes uncluttered. It invites you into a moment of quiet contemplation. All right, the moment of truth is coming. We've deconstructed the text, we've landed on our core visual concept, and we've defined the artistic language. Now, it's time to bring all of those pieces together and see the final artwork. But just before we see it, let's bring that call to action back to the front of our minds one more time. The final piece of art needs to be a visual echo of this very idea, a quiet, humble act that points away from itself and toward God. What does it actually look like when belonging, not performance, is made visible? When quiet holiness is given a shape and a form? And here it is, just a simple, unadorned clay lamp. Its small flame is pushing back against those deep blue shadows of the pre-dawn darkness. It's not screaming for attention. It's not putting on a show. It's just there. A steady, warm, golden presence in the quiet of the morning. And you can see how all those pieces we talked about just click into place, right? It's a single, humble source of light, not a huge spectacle. You can almost feel its warmth pushing back the cold darkness. This right here is the devotion's message made visible, not a performance, but a steady, quiet presence, a quiet, good work brought to life. And that, of course, brings the whole thing back to us. Seeing how this one little flame can make such a difference in the darkness kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What quiet, humble light, what simple, good act, not for any applause, can you shine out in your world today?